Hi everyone, thanks for joining us this morning. As an intro for your presenters, I'm Louise Edwards.
Hi, I'm Sam Jordan. We're going to just quickly run you through sort of kind of three main things today. The first one is just a kind of quick intro to our digital AP1 solution, bit of an overview. Then Louise is actually going to show you the software in action so you can see it for yourselves. And then finally, we will leave time for a Q&A at the end. Last time we had sort of 5 to 10 minutes free at the end of that. So obviously good if everybody stays on mute. If you can put your questions in the chat, that would be ideal. Thank you. Right. Just in terms of sort of an introduction. Okay, check that. Sorry. Getting some echo. I will. Hopefully that's a bit better for you. So InfoTrack has been doing digital AP1 submissions for about 6 years, since 2016, which is an awful long time ago. If you can cast your mind back that far, Obama was still in the Oval Office and my kids were still cute. And in that time, in that 6 years, we've helped over 1,000 firms submit their digital AP1s. That's over 750,000 submissions. And that is to say, actually, that the benefit of that is, you know, all the kinks in the system were worked out years ago, right? And we've done thousands of updates to the software, hundreds even just in the last 6 months. And what we're doing now is just constantly evolving and optimizing the software with feedback from all of those people that have been using it and all of those types of submissions scenarios. So we have quite a mature solution for you. The point of that is number 2 here, ease of use, right? And so whether that's the people actually doing the submissions, which we appreciate are often quite junior people in your firms, or perhaps newer members, you know, we've designed this software to be as easy as possible for them to use. The other aspect of this is actually we understand that now and again you have to deal with much more complex transactions. All of these have been worked through the system as well. So if you want to talk about staircasing with Louise later, one of her favorite topics, but that's all stuff that our software can actually help you navigate. And the final aspect of this kind of ease of use is really just the oversight that we provide you. So there's an AP1 dashboard that lets you see where every single submission is, the requisitions that you have, if you have any cancellations, deal with all of those kind of things, who's doing what, which means that ultimately you shouldn't be missing any deadlines. The results of this are evident when we did a bit of an analysis on all of the digital AP1 submissions and all of the requisitions that are running through HMLR. Compare that to the digital AP1 submissions being done with InfoTrack and the number of requisitions that are running through on those. The ones with our software, there is on average 30% less requisitions, and that's a huge potential time saver for you guys. And that's really just a testament to the fact that we have that experience. We have made this really easy to use. Next thing I would just say is, so we've created an AP1 checklist, which you can find on our website. We can put it in the chat for you as well. It is literally as kind of a list of features as long as your arm that you can go through, which I think is worth looking at when you're comparing providers. The thing I would say, though, that our clients say is kind of most important to them, number one is probably the dashboards that I said, again, just having that visibility and control over everything that's going on. And this is one of those examples of the kind of value that we can add over and above what you might be able to do with HMLR directly. The second one is actually better access to HMLR. So we have some messaging functionality in our system where you have basically like a WhatsApp messenger style service. You can message directly back and forth with the caseworkers to help you manage your requisitions or any inquiries. And then the third one is what we would call proper integration. So the list of CMS providers you can see there, we're integrated with all of these. And so what we mean by proper integrations is not, you click on a link and get bounced out to another website. You can actually, our software is embedded in theirs. We are able to pull through information from the relevant matter to pre-populate the forms, and then we can return the forms back into your CMS at the end of it. So you have that kind of two-way conversation with your CMS, which can prove really helpful. And again, something you can do with InfoTrack that you can't do with other providers and with the land registry directly. So after that, I'm now just going to hand over to Lou to take you through the software.
Fab. So just before we hop onto the InfoTrack platform, there's really three key points that we really want to show you guys with our solution today. So we think that these three sort of parts of the process are going to be really integral for choosing essentially a supplier, and what can that supplier do for you in helping you and your teams manage your AP1 applications when they're sort of getting submitted and in progress as well. So to follow on from Sam, the integration side of things. So what can we do to really support, data populating over and integration into other products in the conveyancing workflow for you and the team? Validations, we know, is probably going to come up quite a lot today in all of the sessions with the suppliers. And really, why is it so important to mitigate the risk of sort of delaying the transaction later down the line with sort of silly mistakes going in and out of the forms there? And finally, requisitions. So what can we do to support you and your teams in managing requisitions and managing all of your applications when they're in flight over at the land registry? So I'll hop over onto the InfoTrack platform. So you'll land over into something that will look a little bit like this. So we've got obviously all of our existing products in the existing orders workflow as well. So by the time I get on to do the AP1 side of things, on the integration side of things, everything will have populated over to the AP1, meaning that about 90% of the form will be ready and waiting for you. So there's actually two ways in which our clients can access InfoTrack, the first being via an integrated case management system supplier. So the image that Sam showed earlier of all of the partners, all of the case management systems who we partner up with, basically mean that when you're accessing InfoTrack via one of those channels, you'll come into InfoTrack and you'll come into your matter via your client file within that case management system. So all of that data that's going to populate over into InfoTrack means that you're just mitigating the risk of incorrectly rekeying information into the AP1, but also mitigating the risk, I guess, to even more delays to the transaction of having to go through and potentially misinput all of the relevant details, but also having to sort of spend more time duplicating that work that's already been done earlier on in the transaction. The alternative option of accessing InfoTrack is directly via the website, and you still get the benefit of data populating over in these instances because we actually start to pick up information throughout the whole conveyancing process. So there's a lot of information that obviously gets repeated, like address, purchaser name, seller's names and stuff like that. So again, if you're coming directly via the website and not via a case management system supplier, you'll still get that benefit of most of the information in the AP1 already being populated because we know, say, the title information coming over from the register, purchaser details, applicant and proprietor details coming over from the SDLT as well. So we've got all of these key data sources so that, again, you're just constantly reducing the risk to delay to the AP1 getting submitted because that form is pretty much complete for you. So then coming in to the AP1 side of things, you can see all of this data start to populate. And again, we'll keep talking about integration sort of throughout this process because I'm sure for a lot of you at the moment, you'll be populating a PDF document out of your case file. And with that process no longer being relevant, with the EDRS service being removed from November and everything having to go digital, you'll still need to find an option where you can populate all of this information from one of your chosen suppliers that you'll be looking at today. So again, with that form being populated with so much information, I can really just come in and start to fill out the missing information in here. So my title and sort of application information is already populated over, and I can start to select my applications to submit with my AP1. So you'll notice on here, we've actually got common combinations of the form sort of up at the top here. So we know that there's sort of frequently going to be a discharge transfer charge on the transaction and sort of common scenarios bumped up to the top. But for any instance where you've got, say, like a slightly more complex transaction, say like staircasing or a lease extension, or you've got a sort of portfolio in a commercial transaction, you need to submit our TR5, all other forms are listed down here when you need to sort of go into more, say, complex realms or out of the ordinary transactions. So I'll just select discharge transfer charge for this application. And this will be where you start to see all of the, again, like the benefits of the integration and the data populating over. You'll also be able to upload any supporting documents, which if you're accessing InfoTrack via one of those case management partners, you can import documents directly from your file. So you don't have to save anything externally out of your case management system to then upload into our platform. You can pull through via what we call a file importer, your case specific documents. So you don't need to go through routing through other clients, different versions of the transfer or the charges or anything like that. You can populate directly from your case. So again, reducing the time spent, saving things externally and uploading them in here. You'll start to see a lot of the validation information kind of populating over through InfoTrack as well moving forward. So one of the things that we've done recently is add in this check around whether documents have been electronically signed or not. So not only does this integrate with our Sign It for Deeds product, where you can get your sort of transfers or deeds that are going to go over to Land Registry electronically signed, we've built in this requirement and really this validation here so that if something has been electronically signed, we'll make sure that you've met all of the Land Registry requirements set out in Practice Guide 82 and your conveyancer certificate is also uploaded. So this was actually one of the areas where we have built in additional validations based off of calls into our help desk, contact with our clients over the past 6 years, to not only have the validations built into the Land Registry's API, but also have these additional validations that we know people will come up against, and we know that we can create sort of further support and further guidance to make sure that you're not submitting anything with mistakes that are going to cause requisitions down the line. So again, these are the sort of unique validations that InfoTrack have built into the process here. Going back to the integrations, we've obviously populated over the price paid value, and we've got our inbuilt fee calculator as well. So you're not having to go to any external kind of Land Registry calculators or that page where the fees are all split out. It all gets calculated for you against that lead application. Similarly, with that data populating side of things, we'll ensure that the stamp duty, that the SDLT5 will get uploaded in relevant transactions. So if the price paid is over that sort of minimum threshold, and if you've submitted it through InfoTrack, your SDLT5 will automatically populate over to the case for you. You don't, again, need to save it anywhere externally to upload it into InfoTrack. It will populate over for you there. Then coming into the applicant information. So again, I know my applicant, I know my proprietor, my purchaser and my seller side of things, because I've already seen that going through on my stamp duty form, or I've already populated it over from my case. And we can also start to assume, we know if you're submitting, say, a discharge, you're going to need a borrower and a lender. Same for a charge, and for a transfer, you're going to need a transferee and a transferor. So if I try to submit any of these forms without having the relevant roles, it's going to block me, because we know you can't submit it without having that relevant information and risk getting a requisition later down the line. So I then just need to come in and add my lender name, and we've actually built in a lender database here so that I can populate my address of service and fill out any kind of missing information. I don't need to, again, come out of the form, go back into my case management system, or even over to the lender handbook or anything like that. To view these addresses, to view this additional information, is all built into the form for you. Then similarly, I've got my proprietor information populated over here along with their conveyancer details, because I've already entered that into my SDLT form. So that's populated over. And again, I'll just pop in the lender name for my discharge. So what this really means is where we've been kind of chipping away at that data populating and just reducing sort of 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there of having to go back and refer to sort of different bits of information, say that's like sitting within your matter, where all of this information populates over, it really means that by the time you get down to associate applications, so essentially the panel 13 equivalent, all of this information is populated for you. So you'll probably notice, obviously, our form does look quite different to the Land Registry's kind of paper AP1 form. And this was actually a redesign that we did a couple of years ago, I think 3 years ago now. And we built this off the back of really queries coming into our help desk team around how to submit the form. And I think the form was great if you'd had a lot of experience, maybe sort of submitting paper AP1s, but where you had sort of new starters or maybe junior members of the team who hadn't had that experience, it wasn't that intuitive for knowing exactly what you needed to do throughout the form and exactly what information you needed to enter, what parties needed to be present. So we sort of reformatted everything to make it a bit more intuitive and give you some sort of further guidance throughout the sort of page itself. So you can see on the left-hand side, you'll always have this sort of navigation bar on the left so that you can see all of the relevant, application information, the titles, the applications you're submitting alongside your AP1, supporting documents and party details, so that you've always got that high level information to kind of refer back to if you get a bit lost or stuck at any time. And then in terms of the guidance side of things, so we know how important it is to kind of give your teams like dynamic information so that they can see, again, the relevant details required of them for, say, a staircasing transaction. And that's where the AP1 guidance on the right-hand side comes in. So we'll give you relevant details to help the user when they get through the form, whenever they need it. If at any time, though, you do need to reach out to our help desk team or you need a little bit more help, we've built our FAQs in here, and this is constantly updated based on the type of calls that we're getting into our help desk. So if anyone's, say, getting stuck on power of attorney, we've got a lot of how-tos. We've got all of our frequently asked questions in here so that you can come in and review this information where needed. But again, at any time, we've got our help desk consultants on hand to assist you. We've got their email addresses embedded in here. We've got the phone number at the top. And we've got the live chat, which is our sort of recent feature, which we're all very excited about. And this basically means you can come in. We haven't built any bots or automation or anything like that. As soon as you type your question in and send it over, you'll reach one of our senior AP1 consultants specifically. So they'll be on hand to help you with more complex transactions or just any question that you've got when you need to submit. And just when you are ready to submit, we've built the ability to sort of save and print if you wanted anyone to review it before sending it over to Land Registry. And we've also built the facility for you to then link the case over to LMS. So this basically means you can come in and select your LMS case from the drop down here and then send it over to not just Land Registry, but LMS will also get a notification in Conveyancer Zone for your specific case. Your lender will get updated that you have submitted your AP1. So there's no need to, again, like come out of InfoTrack, have to sort of remind yourself to log into Conveyancer Zone and put the update into your LMS case specifically to update the lender. That all matches over and populates for you. And then at the end, when your completion of registration comes through, that updated register will also automatically link over to Conveyancer Zone with LMS at no additional charge. So again, you're not having to kind of manually intervene, set reminders for yourself and the team or anything like that to come out and go over there and do that separately. It's all integrated into our AP1 product. Once your applications are then in flight, I'll hop back over to our home screen to run through the kind of management and requisition tools that we've built to support you and the team. So with the majority of the products that we build kind of over here at InfoTrack, we know that it's almost as important to help you manage these sort of in-flight orders as it is to help you submit. And that's why we build dashboards for a lot of the products, as you can see here on the left-hand side. And one of the first ones was really the AP1 dashboard that we built. So within here, you can obviously see all of your team's in-flight applications for your branch or for a particular user. You've got your matter information, the titles, the applicants, and any relevant kind of cancellation or requisition date, depending on the status of your application. So once I click into my application, I'll come into my matter viewer. So again, if I'd have done any sort of previous orders on the file, I'll be able to see like my SDLT and searches and stuff like that. So it's all grouped together. And similar to the validations that we built on the AP1 form side of things, we've actually built in a few sort of structured responses for responding to requisitions and requesting HMLR actions. So if I come in here, say I've done like a name mismatch and I need to regenerate the equivalent of panel 13, I can come in and select my party information and then change the name to Wayne John Davis, import any documents from my case if needed, and then send that over to Land Registry. So again, this sort of WhatsApp style chat means that as soon as you respond, we'll instantly send it over to Land Registry and your caseworker can review your response to the requisition. If though at any time you wanted to just request an action from Land Registry, you can come in and select anything from the relevant drop-down, provide any additional information where required. And we're just ensuring for both the respond to requisition and the request Land Registry action that everything's kind of given this structure so that it's all formatted correctly. So any caseworker who receives it on the other side will basically have all of the relevant information that they need so that we don't have to worry about any sort of missing data or further requisitions getting raised because they haven't received the relevant details in the first place. And then just a few additional tools to kind of support you and the team. You've got the day list sitting alongside your requisitions tab and all related files. So all of your kind of requisition responses and sort of submission receipts and previews and stuff like that will all get stored in all related files, but also everything will populate back down into your case management system. So again, don't need to save anything externally to upload back to your case. And finally, just to sort of further support you and the team, if you need to export any of the information in the AP1 dashboard, you've got this bright orange export button at the top here so that you can export it as an Excel file and sort of share it around the team if necessary. And for any of the more urgent applications, you've got your AP1 cancellations bumped to the top of your calendar on the right-hand side. So just before I hand back to Sam, we're really excited and really hope that you can sort of take away the benefits of integration, validation, and requisition management from the InfoTrack side of things. We are constantly sort of updating and building new validations and new features into the platform. In the last 5 months alone, we've done over 240 releases on AP1s alone. So not looking at any other InfoTrack product or land registry thing, just on AP1s and responding to requisitions and stuff like that. We've done over 240 releases in the past few months. And we log every single sort of ticket that comes into our help desk team. So whether that's via email or a call or a chat, and we actually get contacted by our clients, back to Sam's point on it being easy to use, in less than 1% of applications that go through our platform. Less than 1% of those applications require a call or a contact to the help desk for sort of further submission or further assistance, sorry. So we think we've built kind of quite a few features into the platform to really support you and the team. Thank you for joining in on the demo. I'll hand back to Sam.
Thanks, Louise. So probably just a couple of things to add, and then we'll get into the questions. First one is that we've organised a series of webinars with partners over the next 6 weeks. So all of the ones you see here, we'll do a webinar with somebody, one of the experts from InfoTrack, somebody from one of these partner CMSs, and where we can as well, we're going to try and get some clients involved in there, so you can see the software embedded into those CMSs and see how that works. There's a load more stuff on the website if you need it. There was also a webinar yesterday with Charles Coleman solicitors talking about their experience, so you'll be able to download that and see that as well. So let's get on to a few of the questions that have come in. Katie's asked, why can no more than one AP1 be submitted per case on InfoTrack?
So you do have the ability to submit more than AP1, more than one AP1, sorry, per sort of transaction within InfoTrack. We do have the workflow which will show that an AP1 has been submitted, but you've actually also got the kind of new order workflow at the top. So you can just go into the AP1 via that side of the process and say add in the same matter reference, and all of the information will populate over, and you could submit multiple ones on the same application.
Great, so hopefully that's not a problem for you, Katie. Nicola has asked, how can the AP1 be amended after it has been submitted?
Yeah, so one of the things that you can do with this WhatsApp style chat means that you always have access to your caseworker. So you're not reliant on, say, like a requisition coming through. You can come in at any time and actually use, it is still called like the response to requisition part, but you can actually use that to rebuild parts of the form to sort of send an amendment through. So you've always got access to come in and send those further updates and requirements over to your caseworker. You don't need, that doesn't just open up if a requisition comes through. You can always come in and send those updates over to your caseworker.
Great, thank you. Samantha has asked, can we have request the AP1 dashboard show the estimated completion date as well?
Yeah, so this is actually one of the things that currently isn't available to us via the integration with Land Registry, but it definitely is something on the to-do list that we're sort of asking them for access to.
Cool. So as soon as that's made available through the business gateway, that's something that we'll be able to integrate with as well. A couple of questions from Claire. If the lender is, say, Santander, does it automatically prompt you for a CH2 form?
Off the top of my head, I don't think we do have the sort of lender-specific requirements in there, but we've got a whole team of AP1 experts in the office at the moment, so that's definitely something that we can look at implementing as a requirement and a validation as well. Okay,
so we will get back to you on that one. Claire's also asked, we use Lender Exchange as well as LMS. Can you do this from here too?
At the moment, we just have the LMS integration sort of set up on the platform, but we get a lot of feedback around the Lender Exchange side of things, so it's definitely something that we are currently looking at building into the platform as well.
Yeah, so we're talking to them directly in order to make that available for you guys. And then finally, another question from Katie. Why can you not renew OS 1.2 before the day of cancellation? And why can you not just hit a button and renew searches without having to refill all of the sections?
So with the OS1, OS2 side of things, yeah, we do have the sort of resubmit button does appear after cancellation happens. You can always come in and submit a new OS1, OS2. So in a similar way to having multiple AP1s on a file, you can have multiple priority searches on the application as well. And obviously you can come in and kind of withdraw any of the active ones at that time. So you can come in and basically just put another priority search in on that file. The second part around sort of renewing searches, it's something we're actually in the process of redoing our conveyancing search sort of screens and sort of giving them a bit of a facelift. So that's definitely something we can look at kind of auto-populating and resubmitting as well. We've actually already built that into the AP1 side of things. So if an AP1 does get cancelled, you've actually got a review and sort of resubmit button that will repopulate all of that data into your AP1 form to adjust any relevant info before you submit.
Great, good. Thanks, Katie. Excellent. Right, so I think we're pretty much at time. You've got 3 minutes until you get to the next one. Lou, do you just want to wrap up for us?
Yeah, thanks everyone for dialing in. It's really great to see such sort of excitement around kind of the digitization of the whole AP1 side of things. Again, I can't sing the praises of the team enough. The number of calls that they get sort of guiding our clients on AP1s. We're really excited to keep kind of building new things into this place and just further reducing the percentage of calls that we get in to help submit.
Brilliant. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of the morning. Any other questions you have, just feel free to drop us a line. Loads of contact details, load of information on the website, and you can get in touch with us directly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.